This episode was made possible by Blanton Exterminating. Blanton Exterminating is a family-owned local business that has been servicing Central Alabama since 1962. Blanton Exterminating provides pest control, termite bonds, and mosquito control, just to name a few. Call the great folks at Blanton Exterminating today for your exterminating needs at 205-798-0512. That's 205-798-0512. This episode is brought to you by the Edwards Agency. Today, personal insurance often feels robotic, with other companies using banks, toll-free providers, and internet providers. But the Edwards Agency puts the personal touch in personal insurance. They have a dedicated staff of licensed agents that will assist you in finding the best coverage available at a competitive rate. The Edwards Agency, Inc. has been in business for over 40 years, serving customers in the Jefferson and Walker County area with locations in both Summerton and Jasper. When it comes to your insurance, don't leave it up to choice. Being insured with the best has its advantages. Call the Edwards Agency in Summerton today at 205-648-2830 or the Jasper office at 205-295-2030. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Game Managers Podcast, where we talk Alabama and Auburn and SEC football every week. My name is Nick Norris, and Justin Knight is not with us this week, but Aaron Patterson is.
Hello.
And unfortunately, Aaron's an Alabama fan today. I mean, every day, but today it's unfortunate.
Especially today.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not all hope's lost, but we'll get into that in a minute. First, let's go over some news. Is Chad Morris fired yet? I feel like he probably is. Let's Google that real quick.
Should be.
No, but it's going to be $12 million to fire him, so maybe they won't.
But that goes down after December, correct?
Yeah, like January 1st, it goes down.
Yeah, so somebody else is coaching that team right now, and December, whenever, enter date here, he is gone.
Yeah, that seems pretty likely. In other news, Alabama got their butt kicked. Really wasn't that bad of a loss. It started out being, but
yeah, the first half was just mainly them playing as bad as they possibly could.
Yeah, and the refs didn't help them much either. But we'll talk all about that more in just a minute. But first, how about we start out with some Twitter news, Aaron?
Okie dokie.
Twitter news.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
It really doesn't matter what you think.
You play to win the game. You play to win the game.
I'm going to start off with last week since we didn't have an episode. I got a lot of good ones last week, and I'm going to share them regardless.
Well,
so
I won't stand for it.
Well, you can edit all this out if you'd like.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
You can talk.
This is last week's. SEC Network posted a picture of a sign made at game day, and it said, "The best part of dating a UGA fan, a Georgia fan, she'll never expect a ring." And it's my favorite sign.
A little ironic coming from Florida.
Yeah, it is. But they've had quite a few since Georgia had.
Yeah.
Auburn's field goal unit decided to dress up as Alabama's for Halloween when they missed about 3.
Yeah, Carlson, I think is his name. He missed 3 last week. We talked about that in the bonus episode. That was very much like Alabama.
Auburn and Ole Miss throwing punches over whose offense looks more inept today. Props to Clemson for scheduling a tough opponent like Wofford just a month after scheduling a powerhouse program like Charlotte. Remember to set your clocks back an hour tonight. Auburn fans should feel free to turn them back to even further to a time when they had a functional offense.
Maybe Alabama can do the same for a defense.
Yeah. hope so. This time next week, we will be listening to Gary drooling over anything Joe Burrow.
And we got a lot of that, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah, awesome.
He ran the ball. Oh, my gosh, Heisman. Give it to him.
He's going to get it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's going to get it, but it's just... Gary's an idiot. We'll just throw that out there. Can we talk about Gus calling a timeout with 12 seconds on the play clock while the game clock was running and we were trying to run the clock out? $49 million worth of football IQ. Willie Taggart was so bad that he honestly might be the first coach that Nick Saban turns down in his coaching analyst rehab program. See, so the first one is breaking. Starting linebacker Michael Divinity is no longer on the LSU football team, multiple sources tell. And then Bama Hammer retweeted it and said, if Michael Divinity was in the game, that play would not have went for 10 yards up the middle. Gary Danielson. I actually didn't hear that much about him.
Yeah, well, they didn't need
Gary.
excuses this week, so.
Yeah. I mean, I heard a lot from Gary, but surprisingly it wasn't about
Sure
a linebacker this year. This was from Skip Bayless. If Kyler Murray had a... Oh, he said had. If Kyler Murray had a healthy Hollywood Brown in the national semifinal versus Bama, Oklahoma would have won that game.
Yeah, okay.
How bad did we beat them?
Very badly.
Okay. Yeah, that was
Skip's,
absolutely laughable.
Skip's known for giving very well thought out takes, though. So
Here's something I thought was interesting. ESPN, the official account, posted a picture, and the caption says, 150 years, 10 timeless games. These moments will live forever in college football history. Okay,
so it's their top
I understand.
10 games.
Yeah, I understand. Like all great games, but they labeled them top 10 greatest games, like of all time.
I did see this, yeah.
And I can't believe some of the games that aren't on here.
Yeah.
So number one is number one Nebraska. Number two Oklahoma 1971. Well, there's just a lot on. It'd take a while to read all these, but you should go check those out and send us what games you think you should be on there. Because like Texas A&M LSU last year,
Yeah.
high scoring game, 7 overtimes.
Yep.
How's that not on here?
Or any of the recent national championships. I mean, Alabama, Clemson going back and forth. Alabama, Georgia, the 2012 Alabama Georgia SEC championship game.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, even Oklahoma, Georgia,
Kick
when they
six.
went the kick six, even the 9-6 game.
Yeah.
I don't. None of those. Not a single one is on here. The most recent is Appalachian State and Michigan. Like, yeah, I wouldn't say that was a great like. I mean, because it did go like I don't know. It was a beatdown. Okay, Texas USC's on here in 2006. So, I mean, that was a pretty good game, but I don't know if it's definitely, I mean, I wouldn't put it above even the Texas A&M LSU game. I guess because it was a national championship game.
Yeah.
I guess that's
more
why.
meaningful.
Yeah. But there's a lot of questionable ones on there, but that's all the ones from last week, and I only got a couple this week because we're recording kind of early, but there's a lot of Alabama people pretty upset. So
Roll
that's
Tide
all
anyways.
Don't ever say that ever again.
That's what they're going to be tweeting.
Okay, no, it's not.
No, Alabama's Roll Tide, or War Eagle anyway is at least we're not Auburn. That's
Man,
what all the
hey,
moms
Well,
post.
it's a better one if I have to say anything to it. I'm not saying I'm proud of it.
It's the same. It's the same thing.
I don't know about that. But this is from the Ostrich. It says 1 billion people in Tuscaloosa, and y'all couldn't stop Gary Danielson from getting in. There's a lot of tweets about Gary, and not a whole lot were appropriate. My favorite one is from Tua's bodyguard on Twitter. It says Alabama is a basketball school.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they're making fun of Auburn
Yeah.
last year, and
Yeah.
it's so funny. So those are the main two, and then there's a couple not quite as good. Like Trump came out, Tua fumbled. Draw your own conclusions.
Yep.
And some more inappropriate Gary Danielson ones. So that's pretty much all I have for this week.
Nice. Well, hope those tweets put you in a better spirit, Aaron.
I guess.
Awesome.
Well, let's go ahead and do Tide versus Tigers trivia. We recorded this earlier, so the Alabama fan may sound a little more chipper than they normally would. But let's go ahead and shove this in
They
here.
normally wouldn't. Well, normally they would sound.
Yeah, exactly. Then they would right now. Sorry, it doesn't matter. Look, here it goes. All right, Felicity and Heather, are y'all here?
I'm here.
Hey. All right. Well, we're here with two fans for Tide versus Tigers trivia for Alabama, representing the Tide. We have Heather. Heather, where are you calling from?
Athens, Alabama.
Athens, Alabama. And for the Tigers, we're here with Felicity. Where are you calling from, Felicity?
Opelika.
Opelika.
I'm so excited to be on here. I'm a big fan of the show.
Oh, good. We're glad to have you on.
Yeah, I'm big fans of you and Justin.
Oh, thanks. What about Aaron?
Aaron?
How do you feel about that, Aaron?
Oh.
Well, if y'all are ready to get started, we'll just jump right into this.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
All right, Heather. Well, we're going to start with you. Are you feeling confident?
Yeah.
Good. Here we go.
All right. What year did LSU last beat Alabama?
That would be 2011.
That's right. Yeah, the game of the century. That was
That's it.
8 games ago. Feels like a long time.
I was having to count seasons.
Yeah. Well, all right. Felicity, are you ready?
Sure.
How confident are you feeling?
Not really.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll do just fine. Okay, when was the last time Auburn beat both Alabama and LSU in the same season?
Hold on, give me a second.
Take your time.
It's either 2009 or 2010. 2010, maybe?
Yep, it's 2010. You're right.
Okay.
The Auburn National Championship year. All right, Michelle.
True or false? Both Alabama and LSU have losing records at home fields in this series since 1982.
So since 1982, in the Alabama-LSU game, both teams have losing records at home. True or false?
I'm trying to... False.
That is true, actually. Alabama is 7-11 in Tuscaloosa, and LSU is 4-14-1 in Baton Rouge.
That's a pretty weird statistic there, honestly. You wouldn't think that both of them would have losing records in this series at home. All right, Felicity, we have a true or false for you too.
Awesome.
Okay. Pat Dye only lost 3 bowl games in his 12-year tenure. Is that true or false?
Well, duh, it's obviously true.
Well, you're close. It was actually false. He only lost 2, but one of those was tied. He was his record was 6-2 and 1 with a tie in bowls.
So I'm basically right.
I don't think so. I don't think that's how that works. Those losses came to Texas A&M in the 1986 Cotton Bowl and to Florida State in the 89 Sugar Bowl. All right, Heather.
Okay.
All right, Heather.
Next question.
I
think Felicity's getting a little heated. Might have a little smack talk here soon.
Can you say the words to Rammer Jammer?
All like the whole thing.
Give me like a good segment.
Like, okay, well, I just give you the part that I always say.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
fine.
Rammer, jammer, yellow hammer, give them hell, Alabama.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep, you got
Okay.
it.
I didn't know if you wanted the whole thing.
No. We're sure you know it.
You're welcome to sing it for us if you'd like.
I would let my husband sing it because he can sing. I don't.
Speaking of that, is your husband Manny that called in for the trivia
He
before?
is.
Okay, well tell him hi. Promise.
I will.
I thought so when I saw it on Facebook, but I wasn't quite sure. All right, Felicity. Can you fill in the words to Auburn's fight song? So we'll give you the first line. War Eagle, fly down the field. What's the next line?
Well, that's the only line I know.
Oh, no. We should have asked it the other way around. You want to take a guess, or you want to call it quits on that one?
Never to yield.
That's part of it. It's ever to conquer, never to yield. So we'll give you that one. Okay, we're tied up.
All right, Heather, true or false? Greg McElroy was the Alabama quarterback in the 2011 Alabama LSU game.
2011.
And Greg McElroy is the name we said.
True.
It is false. It was actually A.J. McCarron in 2011.
That was his first year starting for the Crimson Tide that year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the 11-12
Right, yeah.
season. Okay. I was going 10-11 season because that was McElroy's last season.
Right, it was. That's right.
Okay.
All right, Felicity. True or false? Auburn has racked up 12 undefeated seasons despite only having 2 national championships.
False.
That one is actually true. Auburn does have 12 undefeated seasons. I was a little surprised when I read that fact.
Oh, wow.
All right, Heather, which team has Nick Saban not coached for? LSU, Michigan State, Bowling Green, Miami, or Toledo? Miami Dolphins or Toledo.
And we can repeat those if you need us to.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Just tell me which one he has not coached for.
So we know he's coached for Alabama, and we know he's coached for
I know
LSU.
he's coached for Alabama. I know he's coached for LSU.
So the other options are Michigan State, Bowling Green, Miami Dolphins, and Toledo.
I know that Nick Saban coached Michigan State. Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure. I know that one. So the only my Bowling Green and Toledo, and I'm pretty sure Toledo. So Bowling Green.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, I didn't know that.
You helped her out, though. Way to be a good sportsman, Felicity.
Thank you.
All right. Now, this one's for you, Felicity. Last question. Which of these rivals did Auburn play in the 20th century more times than it played against Alabama? Florida, Georgia, Georgia Tech, or all 3? So this is in the 20th century, more times than Alabama.
I'm gonna say Georgia.
Well, that's correct, but it's also a little wrong because it was actually all 3 of them they played that year due to the series, the Iron Bowl series, being suspended from 07 to 48.
Oh no.
Well, you both did a great job, but Heather, you're going to be our winner this week.
All right, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Okay.
Yeah, War Eagle. I'll give you that War Eagle this year. Thank you. But I still have to stand by the Tide. I understand. Daddy's an Auburn fan, but baby turned out to be a Bama fan.
Roll Tide.
Hey, Manny, roll Tide.
Hey, man.
Roll Tide. Hey, but Bo Nix is awesome.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for playing. Heather, we'll get your information. It's probably the same as Manny's, I'd imagine. We'll go ahead and get it.
Definitely.
Okay, good deal. Well, we'll send your prize right over to you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
And good job, Felicity. Oh, thank you. You too.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Okay, so you want to just jump right into talking about Alabama LSU?
I guess.
All right, let's do it. Give us your initial thoughts.
My initial thoughts is that we played awful the first half. Terrible. Absolutely awful. You have a great starting drive, and you get all the way down to the 5. First of all, I don't think Tua should have started the game after he got into it. There's some stuff he did that Mac couldn't have. But, the first half,
Wait, can I interrupt you for a second? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We never said why Justin's not in the episode.
Oh, he bought Alabama LSU tickets and then went to Baton Rouge. He thought the game was in LSU.
Somebody sold him last year's tickets. He drove all the way to Baton Rouge.
He's an idiot, I swear.
That
And he's an Auburn fan. Why is he going to that game anyways? He could have sold those tickets and made a lot of money.
That didn't happen. We made this up. Made this whole thing up.
Well, we played that off pretty good.
That sounds pretty good.
So I really wish he would have kept going with it.
He just had to go see family in Baton Rouge. He is in Baton Rouge. But he had to go. I don't know why he had to go. Something to do with his granddad. I don't know. He may just quit the podcast. That's fine too.
I didn't even know he had family down there.
I didn't even know he had a family at all.
I mean, never mind.
He's got one he claims at the very least. But yes, so he's with them. So he'll be back for the bonus episode, the Auburn Georgia bonus episode. That we're probably recording tomorrow, but putting out Thursday morning. So he'll be back for that. Don't even worry about
another
it.
Special guest, so
yeah, we could probably say this special. We'll wait because we'll make sure we record him tomorrow, and then we'll post it online. Anyways, sorry. Back to whatever you were saying.
We played terrible. I didn't think Tua should have started the game. Obviously, he got a lot better the second half. So
yes,
I'm glad that he played. But the first half, like, there's nothing that he did that Mac couldn't have, in my opinion. Like the first drive, it was a great drive, and Mac could have done the same thing. There wasn't any, it was
he could have fumbled that ball just as easy.
Yeah, he could have done that too. But yeah, we just played terrible. Anything and everything did not go our way. They scored 14 points in the last 30 seconds.
I scored on 4 consecutive drives.
Yeah. So we fumbled the ball and they go 90-something yards. This is on our own. Yeah,
Fumbled it on about our 6. I don't know the exact number.
Go 90-something yards and score. Then we let them score and then throw that pick. So there's 2 just stupid things that should have never happened. There's a fumble and a pick. They were awful.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a
two
good
turnovers
pick. It wasn't a good pick. Like he did read his eyes, but it was just right to him.
Yeah, and he looked. I agree that I don't think he was physically ready, but he didn't seem mentally ready. He looked very shook the whole game.
Yeah, there was a couple times where he could have, like, normally he would have got 2, 3, 4 yards at least, and he just stood there like he was
took sacks,
froze. Yeah, he took a couple sacks that he should have thrown the ball away, and it wasn't very good. But I mean. Then we had that call. This absolutely infuriated me.
Yeah.
So this guy, he had his left foot a yard out of bounds, and you can't go out of bounds and come back in unless you're forced out of bounds,
right?
Or you touch the ball second. I think is what it is.
The ball would be dead.
So even they had a rules analyst. Oh, they had a rules analyst that didn't even know that. Unfortunately, I hate to give him any credit, but Gary is the one who pointed it out.
I will say Gary knows his stuff. He's one of the most. He's one of the most knowledgeable guys. He just gets so hung up on these little things, and I get that all announcers have to do this. You have to explain the game in a way that non-fans can understand it. But I think he goes. I think one of his flaws is that he explains too much, and I think that people, especially diehard fans, are like, "Yeah, we get it."
Yeah, we're just sitting there like,
whereas
really?
somebody that's
great.
never,
I would have never guessed, Gary.
Somebody that's never watched a game may appreciate that. I feel like they would, but for the diehard fans, maybe it comes off.
They called? It was a delay a game, and Gary was like, and they didn't get the ball off before. It hit 0, so that was a delay. This is after they called the delay. They threw a flag.
At one point, Alabama had 12. 12 men on defense, and Gary literally said, "Yeah, they got 12 guys out there. You're supposed to only have 11 on defense. 11 plus 1, that's 12."
He said,
He said, "I reckon so, Gary."
He said they had 11 on the field. Then they had this other guy coming in for a substitution. So 11 plus that 1, that does make 12. That is.
That's exactly how he said it.
That is illegal substitution. But my favorite of the day, that wasn't even the worst. My favorite, we're pretty close to our own end zone going out of it. I think we just got a punt or something. And Tua avoids a sack or something and throws the ball on like a little slant. And he's like, "Man, that was a heck of a throw by Tua." But what a catch by Judy. It literally hit Judy in the hands and went straight to the ground.
Bounced off the ground.
He was like, what a catch. Like,
which, maybe in their setup it's hard to see up there. I'm sure they have multiple screens.
I'm sure they have a better setup than what we were watching. We're just watching the normal broadcast. There's not an excuse. How do you not what a catch? I mean, I guess, yeah. Good. Okay. Whatever, Gary.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the players and the stats of the day. So Joe Burrow, he looked as awesome as he has the entire season. 31 for 39 passes, 393 yards through the year, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. I mean, this guy's so accurate, it's scary. And I would have never guessed that prior to the season. I know everybody says that, but it's worth it's worth saying every time. And then for Alabama, Tua, not a normal night for him. 21 of 40, 418 yards through the air and 4 touchdowns, and then the 1 interception, of course, the fumble. Even though Tua was injured, I didn't think he was the problem tonight.
No,
if anything, he kept us in it pretty well, especially at the end.
Yeah, in the second half, yeah.
But I wouldn't.
You take one of his mistakes away, and we win.
Yeah. Well,
if you take both of them away, well, I'm not gonna say that because they could have still scored on one regardless. But regardless, you take a bad call away, and they still could have scored. So I'm gonna say LSU still did everything they had to do, so I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying Alabama absolutely beat theirself.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot multiple times.
Yeah,
but if you're going to pin this loss on, if you're going to pin it on something, it's the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, allowing 46 points, 46-41 was the final, by the way, but allowing 46 points, that's a lot of points to give up.
Yeah.
And like you said, not taking anything away from LSU's offense, they earned every point they got, except for the one where he jumped out of bounds. The refs gave him that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think LSU probably is the best team in the country, and
yeah, they definitely deserve to be number one. Like, how many top 4 opponents do you have to beat? Like, that's insane.
Yeah. I would be floored if they're not number one.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me just how much they love Ohio State.
It would surprise me. I'd be very.
I mean, I was surprised the first time, so now, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. So, guys that stood out today, Najee Harris, first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, he played a great game.
He had an awesome game. Najee's one of my favorite guys to watch, but he had 19 carries, 146 yards. I thought he had more. I thought he had 175 at one point, didn't he?
I think that was
that team rushing.
Oh, I'm not sure. How does that?
This is on the ESPN stats. If they're wrong,
that was probably rushing, but he also had a couple passes.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be okay. Yeah. So 146 on the ground and a touchdown, and then he also through the air he had 3 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. Yeah. So that adds up. So yeah, he had a couple touchdowns of himself. Him and Tua was the stars of the offense, and then of course Judy and Devontae Smith both getting touchdowns today too. Smith with 2.
Yeah, he looked really good.
Yeah, and then who was it that Waddle returned the punt return for a touchdown?
Yeah, that was clutch.
Yeah, so but a lot of Alabama's points, not necessarily in the second half because they scored on 4 consecutive drives, but on the first half, most of their points was just like a punt return, and then
it was a punt return and a touchdown with a missed extra point.
Yeah.
Because they only scored 13 in the first half, right?
Yeah, I think so. Let me check. Yeah, 13 in the first half.
Yeah, so anyways, at the end of the day, like, everything could have gone wrong. Everything did go wrong for Alabama in the first half. And they came back and played another half and lost by 5 points to the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah. Which honestly, in a way, like in a weird way, and I almost hate to say this because everybody's always like, "Oh, well, a loss is a loss." Yeah, this is a loss. It's not a good thing to happen for your team. But losing 46-41 rather than 33-16 almost feels like a win.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
Like, it's just everything that went wrong in the first half to still come back and win by what should be the number, or lose by 5 to what should be the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, where would you have them ranked after this?
Alabama?
After today.
Well, I don't know. We're going to have to see how the rest of the day plays out. Like you said, we're recording this a little early. Of course, Penn State losing today to Minnesota.
Yeah, just as of right now, where would you put them?
Your prophecy, Minnesota. Day
I'm
one.
telling you,
it's coming
man.
true. Yeah, go back and listen to our bonus episode if you don't know what we're talking about. But, yeah, I'd put them at 5 or 6. I mean, right above Georgia, wherever they're going to end up at.
Yeah.
So much better loss than Georgia's loss. So, yeah, right
Let's
above
see
them.
how well I remember this. So I don't have it pulled up on my phone right now, but I would put LSU at number 1 because I've said that even before they beat Alabama. Put Ohio State at 2. Then Clemson would jump up to 3. So they're at 5 right now. Penn State, so 3 and 4 lost. So Clemson goes to 3.
Yeah.
And then for 4, if it was me, I would put either Minnesota or Alabama. And yes, Minnesota's coming all the way from 17, but they should have never been 17 in the first place. And if the committee's going to put that much emphasis on Penn State being number 4, then if they get beat, then it should be accounted as that good of a loss for Minnesota.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get
I don't think
LSU
they'll put
1,
them,
Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, Alabama 4.
Yeah, it would not surprise me just because they by far have the best one loss.
Yeah. Alabama fans should become, and I know they don't want to hear this right now, but they need to become the biggest LSU fans in the world because you're going to want Joe Burrow to win the Heisman, which we'll talk about his odds in a minute, which I think they're very good. You're going to want him to win the Heisman, and you want them to beat everybody they play by 60 points because you want your loss to look good. You don't want them to beat Georgia by 1. You want to make sure that it's well known you're better than Georgia. But yeah, I mean, it's Alabama's fate is no longer in their own hands, and they've been in this situation before, like Nick Saban said in his press conference today. I don't think it's anything to worry about yet. It's gonna have to go with the flow. Alabama fans are so.
Yeah,
See where it
think
ends up.
the biggest thing is just. I think honestly the only one who has a chance to get in over them because Minnesota or Ohio State is going to have a loss.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day they have to go through each other in the Big Ten. So yeah, they're both going to have a loss. That's going to leave 4 undefeated teams, or 3. That's going to leave 3, right?
That's gonna leave. Okay.
Yeah,
Ohio
that'll
State,
leave
LSU,
3.
Clemson, then Minnesota.
Yeah, so that'll leave 3 undefeated teams, and the only one-loss team.
Oh, and Baylor.
Baylor looks terrible.
They barely beat TCU.
They've
in
lost
triple
by
overtime.
3, 2, 1, and double overtime. They won. I mean, they've won by these guys. I keep
Won by
messing
those
up.
numbers.
Yeah, they've won by 3. They've won by 2. They've won by 1. They've won by in a double overtime, and then they won in a triple overtime today. So I don't.
They're not getting in. It doesn't matter if they went out. They're
And
the
they
UCF
played
of this
absolutely
year.
no one.
Yeah.
And so unless if they beat Oklahoma and Texas, then maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think so. We assume Ohio State, LSU, Clemson will all go undefeated. So really, what you're going to be.
Like I'm saying is there's going to be 3 undefeated teams, and the only one-loss team you could put in over them would either be a Georgia if they win the SEC championship game.
Yeah, then LSU would go in over.
Yeah, but then
too.
LSU would go in over Alabama. So other than that, which I don't think is going to happen, I think LSU would beat Georgia. So if
Yeah.
LSU wins, and we still have those 3 undefeated teams, the only one you can make a case for, in my opinion, is the Pac-12 champion, just because they're a Pac-12 champion. That's
Sure.
the only reason. But regardless, they're going to have a worse loss than Alabama.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be mad if you put in a champion over a one-loss SEC team that doesn't have a championship. But I would, obviously, just
Yeah.
because I believe they're the better team.
Something's
Especially if they beat Auburn. Like, if they beat Auburn and Oregon wins the Pac-12, and that's,
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah, you're going to need this. Something's going to have to happen with the Pac-12, I think, because
now,
keeping a champion out is going to be tough. I think maybe that loss to Auburn is going to be huge
Yeah, but
in
if-
the debate if Oregon wins the Pac-12.
But if the Pac-12 champion has 2 losses, and there's only 3 undefeated teams, then, then yeah, Alabama's number 4. They're going in.
Yeah, so we're laughing because our friend Josh is here, and he's just put on
He's
the
just
clown
watching
mask.
us record. He refuses to record with us. We even tried to get to record week 1, but I don't think he would.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
Josh, come in here. Come say hey to the people.
He doesn't want to. That's okay.
Come say hey to the people.
He doesn't want to. That's okay.
Say hey.
Okay.
Oh, you
so
might have heard him a little bit in the
there you go.
background.
You probably heard his stuffy voice there.
Just say hey.
There you go.
What an idiot.
That was Josh. He said, "Hey, I don't know." Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
moving on.
let's talk about Joe Burrow. So, what's the odds he's going to win the Heisman as of right now? Still, there's 3 games
As of right
left.
now, it's 100%.
Yeah, I feel so. I think so too. If you would have told me that before the season started, I'd have laughed in your face.
I think the only person who really has a good chance is probably Justin Fields, but still not very good against him.
Yeah.
I dislike Ohio State strongly, but I don't think that Chase Young would have a chance just because he's a defensive player. I don't think we're ever going to get one.
I don't think so either. And I'd love to get a defensive Heisman, but
I would too.
with the year Joe Burrow's had, you're not going to not give it to him if he goes undefeated.
Yeah, if Ohio State goes undefeated, Joe would have to have a really bad game, and Justin would have to keep going steady, and then it would be a lot closer. But I still think it's Joe Burrow's.
I think this was the nail in the coffin for Tua's Heisman chances.
Oh yeah, he's done.
Yeah,
not a chance. The way he played the first half, and even sometimes in the second, he wasn't fully there.
Yeah, and I think that our expectations after that initial debut of him in the 2017 national championship.
I still think he should have won it last year, but
yeah, well, that's
a completely different argument. That's a lot
Sure.
of stats I would have to go into that.
Yeah,
we don't have time for.
Okay, so what are your playoff predictions as of right now? Given madness will likely ensue. If you had to pick 4 teams, if you had to pick the 4 best teams, it doesn't matter what you think the committee feels. If you think the 4 best teams are what you've seen right now, who are you putting in?
The 4 best would be LSU, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, probably.
Yeah, I think I don't know what order I'd put them in. LSU number 1.
LSU
and Alabama probably at the bottom. And yeah, I'd have that.
Yeah, that would be exactly it.
Ohio State probably 2.
LSU 1, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, Alabama 4.
Yeah. So I wouldn't worry if you're an Alabama fan. I think that your chances are still pretty good.
But who I think will get in, I think by the end of the year, not right now, but the end, like the last week before the playoffs, it'll be Ohio State 1 just because the committee loves them and they claim that their schedule's harder.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Which they've looked great, but they're not. They shouldn't be number 1.
They shouldn't be, but they will be even if they might, like LSU might jump them after beating Alabama. They should, but I don't think they'll stay there even if they win out. So Ohio State will be number 1, I think. And then I think LSU will stay number 2. I think Clemson will jump up to number 3 and they'll stay there. And then I think it's really between Oregon and Alabama, and I think people will riot if Oregon wins a Pac-12 championship and doesn't get in. So
yeah.
just because people are so sick of seeing two
they are.
SEC.
The only thing that complicates us so much is that loss being to Auburn. I mean, that might work out perfect for Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, that might
Especially
be the best possible scenario.
Yeah, because the game's at Auburn, right? This year.
Yes, it's at Auburn.
The Iron Bowl. So, yeah, if Alabama goes in there and makes a statement and beats them by 20-something, then, yeah. But you got to think, Oregon only trailed that game for 9 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, you forget about that since it's been so long already.
9 seconds.
That's a shame.
They should have won that game. So I don't know, but yeah, I just think people will riot and they're sick of it. So
yeah,
I don't see
Oklahoma could shake it up too.
Yeah, just because they'll have a championship. But at the end of the day,
I mean, who are they beating? Texas? Yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
or Baylor, whoever.
Baylor,
I mean,
would be there.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. I mean, probably having a championship would look better than Alabama not having one, but it wouldn't be the first time they got in over a conference champion.
I still think conference championships are overrated until you do. If you didn't tune into the bonus episode, I'd talk a lot about it there. But until you do schedule uniformity and all that, conference championships are just, you gotta really consider a lot. Like,
Yeah.
is winning the Pac-12 really that impressive? Like, I mean, it is, but like
Sure.
compared to some of the others, I mean, and Alabama doesn't have that great a schedule, so that really hurts them. But
Yeah. Well, that's all I got to really say about this one. I would just say what they got next week: Mississippi State. They'll probably make a statement, and then they got Western Carolina, which we just gave the tickets away to that game. Congratulations to the winner. I'm not gonna say their name; they may not want me to say it, but yeah. So that, and then they'll have the Iron
Western
Bowl.
Carolina almost beat SMU today. I think
Oh,
they
did they?
barely lost.
I'll
I
look
think
it
I
up real
saw
quick.
that. But yeah. So if that would be my 4 right now.
Oh my! Oh, it's basketball. I was about to say.
98 to 65.
Are you sure they played?
Pretty sure. Now we're gonna have to really check this out. Would hate
It's
to.
not popping up for me.
Yep, 59-51.
Okay. And who won that one?
SMU, yeah.
Cool. Well, that's about it. You want to get into mismanagers then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Justin never sent his Night Needs to Know questions.
Well,
No Night Needs to Know
idiot.
this week. Yeah. Unless we want to do Aaron Needs to Know. I don't want to do that. Let's just get to mismanagers.
Wow. Okay, I think we should do. What does Josh need to know?
Josh doesn't need to know anything. He needs to.
What you tell us? What do you need to know?
I need to know what am I supposed to ask?
A football question.
Any question?
Football question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you need to know?
Who was the first national championship?
Okay, never mind.
Josh says, who was the first national championship ever? Probably Harvard or something like that.
I'm gonna go with Princeton. Will be my
Trick
guess.
question. Somebody Christian.
Okay. What
He's at our high school. I don't know. He's a funny guy. Yeah.
he thinks he is.
That's a funny joke, Josh. I thought you were gonna say UCF, the first real national championship.
That would be a lot funnier.
That'll blow my head off.
All right, let's get into mismanagers.
Okie dokie.
Did you grab anything when you walked out the door?
Grab nothing but 2 Tortino's pizza out of the refrigerator and my doggy, and we left.
I just kept hearing it. I'm ducking and everything. Died in the house. I got scared. I dropped my hot pocket.
Here's an actual customer out here. What's the best kind of firework to buy?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
And now, it's time for mismanagers.
All right, Aaron, are you ready for some mismanagers?
I reckon.
All right, well, I'm going to start us off with Mirror.com. They penned an article called "University Offers Students Grave to Lie in to Cope with Exam Stress."
What?
Okay, so Aaron, you've taken exams before. Tell everybody how stressful exams can be.
That depends. Are we talking about high school exams?
This is a college.
Yeah. I didn't take very many of those.
Well, apparently it's stressful enough that some people need to lie in a grave to cope with the stress.
Yeah.
Has there ever been anything?
No.
I was going to say, has there ever been anything stressful enough for you to lay in a grave?
Yeah, I know what you were going to say. It's a resounding no.
Okay, well, let me just read you this. Maybe it'll change your mind. Radboud University in Nijmegen has dug a purification grave to help students reflect on the futility of their existence, and it's certainly different.
What?
Yeah, so let's just jump right into this. Let me see. I'll show you the picture of it. That's a deep grave.
How do they get out?
There's stairs. There's little dirt stairs and a thing you can climb. A university has come up with an unusual method of helping its students to cope with exam stress, a meditation grave. Many have been trying to offer a range of alternative therapies to help students suffering from anxiety during exam periods. Some have offered therapy dog sessions, mindfulness meetings, and even designated quiet places, but no university has gone quite as far as Radboud University. Located in the Dutch city of Nijmegen, They recently went viral after an alumni revealed their unique approach to managing student stress, a grave. Yes, behind the student chapel is an open grave, and while it's not operational in the strictest sense of the word, people are dying to get in it.
All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Okay, so I'm just going to describe this photo. You should look at it for yourself, but it's literally just a dirt grave. They have like a towel at the bottom of it. It's pretty deep. How deep would you say it is? 3, 4 feet?
That's
Not quite
4
6.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 4 foot.
Yeah, and it's just a photo of a student just lying in it, just chilling. Inside the grave is an appropriate sign which says, "Stay weird." According to the students, the bizarre project is so popular they had to be put on a waiting list to secure an early grave. Student Sean McLaughlin said, "Me and my housemate were planning on going a week and a half ago, and we found out there is a waiting list to actually get into the grave. So it's quite popular. We didn't get the chance yet, but I plan to go sometime soon whenever I move up." The purification grave, complete with a blanket and yoga mat, allows for comfortable, if a tad morbid, meditation. But according to the project's founder, John Hacking, a member of staff at the student chapel, the grave is actually about making pupils appreciate their time on Earth a little more. John told Ripley, "Thus, the end of life, death, is a taboo, difficult for students. Death is very difficult to talk about, especially when you're 18, 19, 20 years old." Popularized by campus posters under the title Memento Mori, Latin for "Remember, you will die," the grave experience can be booked for a minimum of 30 minutes and up to 3 hours.
I don't think that's going to help with stress. You're just walking around thinking about all these hard tests you have to take. You're paying all this money to go to university, and then, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to die too, so all this is useless. It's very, doesn't...
Yeah, I don't get the philosophy, but to each their own, I reckon, but... I don't want to chill in a grave for 3 hours. Also, that thing looks like it'd be snake infested.
It does not look comfortable, that's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish it would say how deep it is, but it looks at least 4 foot to me. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. That's all I got to really say about that one. This one's a little weirder. Man sticks cannabis in his nose, forgets about it for 18 years.
What? No.
This one's by Huffington Post. The patient snorted a cannabis-filled balloon before going into prison and thought he had swallowed it, doctors said. He thought he swallowed a balloon.
How do you not know?
He had his stuffy for 18 years.
I don't believe this one for a second.
Let me read it to you.
There's no way you're that stupid.
An Australian man suffered numerous sinus infections over an 18-year period before doctors finally smoked out the cause. Good old cannabis. No, not in the way you're thinking. This guy stuck a packet of pot up his nose just before going into prison and then just forgot about it for 18 years. The 48-year-old patient finally realized his breathtaking situation thanks to doctors at Sydney's Westmead Hospital, where he was referred after complaining of headaches. According to a study published earlier this week in BMJ Case Reports, appropriately titled "Nose Out of Joint," a CT scan showed what looked like a calcified lesion in the nasal passage. When surgeons went in for a closer look, they ended up removing what the report described as a rubber capsule containing degenerate vegetable plant matter. Yeah, pictures of it didn't happen. Here you go. There's pictures of the...
I don't believe it.
Doctors removed the object and later engaged the patient in what the report called specific questioning. At that point, the man remembered an incident in which he was about to go to prison and his girlfriend gave him a parting gift of some weed in a rubber balloon. The man inserted the bud-filled balloon up his right nostril, but ended up inhaling it further than he expected, to the point where he thought he had swallowed it, and he forgot about it, despite suffering numerous sinus infections since the indica inhalation. This man is breathing easier these days. According to the report, he reported a complete resolution of his nasal issues after having the weed removed.
Okay, I mean...
Want me to fact check this one a little further?
Yes, I don't believe that for a second. How does he just now, like, oh, it's the 18th year, now I'm getting a little bit of a headache?
It's on CNN too. CNN, Independent.co. It's on ABC News, so yeah, it's
that don't make any sense.
What's the most important thing you've ever forgotten?
I've ever forgotten?
Yeah, like a kid in the daycare.
Ooh. I don't know. I'm pretty forgetful.
Yeah. Well, you've been going without your license for quite a while now. Maybe you shouldn't say that on here, but it's been about 3 months now.
At least, yeah.
It's pretty
I
important.
really need to go get that.
You can do it online. It takes like 5 minutes.
You can do it online? How do you do it online? They have to take your picture, don't they?
Yeah, I think they have it on file or something. Maybe you may have to go again. You just need to do it.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing there. What I'm saying is, everybody will have multiple sinus infections in 18 years, so that's not much of an indicator there. But he says he went initially because he was starting to get headaches. Why did he wait 18 years before he started to get a headache? Why didn't that happen in like week 2 that he forgot it?
This guy, okay, well, he's been to prison. He puts weed up his nose. He's probably not the most functional human.
I mean, that's the only way. And I wouldn't even think he'd be functional enough to go to prison if he doesn't even realize he's got a tube of something up his nose for 18 years.
It's a long time.
That's almost as long as we've been alive.
Yeah, well, that's number 2 there for you.
Also, if he's in prison for 18 years.
Well, I don't know that he was in prison for 18 years, but he was just.
Oh.
This is in his nose for 18 years. He could have been. I don't know. But
so he went to the doctor like this is after he got out of prison.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Good stuff. Ready for the last one?
I mean, I guess.
This one I feel like you're going to relate to more than anybody.
Okay.
Man in India dies during challenge to eat 50 eggs, report says.
What?
This is by Fox News.
Die eating 50 eggs.
I guess 50 is the number. You can go 49, but don't try 50.
Why? What is in the eggs that's just going to...
Well, let me read it to you. A man in northern India has died after he was challenged to eat 50 eggs, according to a report. Now, I've challenged you to drink a half a gallon of milk, and you did that. And how did that go for you?
I made myself puke about 15 minutes later.
You were so sick. I have that on video. We may have to post that on the...
We don't have to do that.
We'll post it on the page.
No.
I don't know. We'll have to check the content of the vocab in it, make sure that it's family friendly. But News 18 reported that Subhash Yadav in Uttar Pradesh's Jaunpur district got into a fight with a friend, and they decided to challenge each other to eat 50 eggs. Now, I do respect that they were like, well, let's settle this like men.
I mean, I guess.
Let's just have an egg off, an egg eating off. Who can eat the most?
How are they eating the eggs? Like,
well, let's see. I don't know. Yadav ate 41 before he collapsed and fell unconscious.
What?
He was rushed to a hospital and died hours later. Doctors at the Sanjeev Gandhi Postgraduate Institute of Medical Sciences said Yadav died from overeating. So it doesn't sound like it was like raw or anything. He just overate and died. Probably clogged up his heart or something. All that protein. I don't know how food works.
People eat like 70 hot dogs in 5 minutes and they're perfectly fine.
Well, look, this guy could only do 41 eggs. So if anyone is on an egg spree, I suggest you don't eat more than 40.
There's got to be something like in the eggs that I don't know. That just don't make any sense.
That's literally all the article is. That's all the info they have. I can read some comments, though.
Let's read some comments.
The big dummy ate a chicken sandwich at Popeyes before the contest. Okay. How many did Cool Hand Luke eat? I think it was only 24. I don't know who that is. Had he been American, he could undoubtedly have survived eating 41 eggs. It's probably true. This person says should have cooked them. He died from salmonella infection. That doesn't say that in the article, but yeah, that would make sense. I think I heard that Paul Newman died twice during the filming of Cool Hand Luke, but he got better.
Also, how fast does salmonella set in? Does he die because it said he died like hours later, or a couple hours later.
It said he collapsed as he ate the 40.
Oh, well then, gosh almighty.
But how long does it take to eat 40 eggs?
Well, I mean, yeah, but how long does it? Is it really? You eat something and get salmonella and you just drop?
Well, so this means that his friend won the argument. They won the fight.
I mean, I guess.
I guess he didn't die.
I thought they both.
How many
died.
do you think he ate?
I thought they both died. I thought the first one ate 41 and died, and the other one got to 50 and died. I thought that was the point.
No, just Yadav.
So
it doesn't say who his friend was, but presumably.
So it was just 41 eggs, and they lied and said 50.
He was challenged to eat 50 eggs.
Oh, he was okay.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't, and the article says man dies eating 50 eggs.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody ever eats 50 eggs. Now shut your mouth and give, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Last paragraph of the article, so the doctor at the Medical Institute concluded that he died from overeating. LOL, no kidding. This is exactly why people should not procreate.
What?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, anyways, that's mismanagers.
All right. Those comments were terrible.
Yeah, they were. Well, yeah. Fox News, probably a bunch of boomers reading it.
All right.
Is it going to be a recurring thing now?
I guess, yeah.
Until the meme dies? It's close to it. Oh, there's more comments. Want to see what else they got?
I mean, I guess. Because those are trash. There's a lot of Paul Newman stuff.
Yeah.
What a friend. Excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well play-egged.
That's awful. That is a stretch.
It's probably cholesterol that got him, right?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. People eat way more of way less healthy things way faster.
Have you ever done any other food challenge besides the milk that I dared you to do?
I mean, I've done a couple food challenges.
Like what?
There's a place in Birmingham that had like a big burrito or something.
Yeah, you had to eat it all to get a t-shirt.
Yeah, and for it to be free, and I was hungry and wanted a burrito.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Nice. Where's the t-shirt?
I don't know.
You should be wearing that every day. What's the other food challenge you've done?
I still haven't done the mug shots one. I really want to do that.
The mug shot burger.
I've been meaning to do that for a couple of years now.
Yeah. When did you do it?
I'm trying to think. I know there's more. I'm trying to think.
The last time we went to mug shots, you couldn't order a beer because you forgot your license, and that was the first day you noticed you lost it.
Yep, that was right then.
It was like
what did we
6 years ago.
We watched a movie that night, didn't we?
Oh, we watched the Tarantino movie.
Yeah, so whenever that came out,
How to Be in Hollywood.
Yeah, whenever that came out, that's how long it's been since I've had my license. I really can't think of anything else, but I know there's more.
That's okay. I know you're not really smart. So.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I'll shove something up my nose for 18 years and forget about it.
Well, anyways, that's going to be the episode.
Okay.
It's going to be the episode for this week. We'll be back with a bonus episode on Thursday.
I would have really liked to hear Justin's thoughts on some of these.
Yeah, well, he bought those tickets and it went to the wrong stadium. But
yeah,
that's whatever. But
it's weird that he went to the Alabama LSU game and he's an Auburn fan.
It is weird, but
I guess we got tickets and he went ahead and.
Well, somebody sold them. Remember that somebody sold them those ones from last year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. He's on his way to Baton Rouge right now.
Yeah, we could have told him. We chose not to.
Well, we did tell him. He just didn't listen. And then we were like, screw it. Just let him.
He did a good job closing out the show last bonus episode, though.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go ahead and close it out for us. But we'll be back Thursday. Justin will be back. Bonus episode. It'll all be here. Breaking down Auburn, Georgia. Anything else you want. You want to break down eggs? We'll do it. But thank you for listening. We have our website. Go look at it, thegamemanagers.com. You can find us on social media at TGMPod on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Patreon. We are at you can email us at gamemanagerspod@gmail.com. You can follow me at Norisosaurus. That's Norrisosu. Oh no, I messed it up.
Yeah.
Norrisosaurus. I don't know why that's so difficult this time. You can subscribe for future comments. You can leave a nice review if you like the show. And we have shirts at TeePublic. Those are soft and awesome. You can give us money and
How bad is Justin on that part?
and giveaways. We do those every Wednesday for Todd vs. Tigers trivia. So if you want to do the trivia next week, comment on those posts. Do everything that I tell you to do on that post, including rob a bank.
Do everything that I tell you to do in those posts.
All right, that's it.
Adios.